So we are underway, and I want to say welcome to the first ever Maine Business School Digital Accepted Student Day. Congratulations to all of our prospective students on being accepted to UMaine. That is awesome. The University of Maine is a great place, and those of us who work there and go to school there think it's awesome, and we hope you'll join us there in the fall. My name is Nick Fraunfelter, and I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for the Maine Business School. And I hope that you will have checked out our accepted student portal. I sent out a few emails, but if you haven't done so, check that out. The website is umaine.edu/business/accepted. And if you were able to come to campus, we typically would give you a tour of our business building and walk you through a presentation. But since we can't, we've uploaded those resources to that website. So I'll mention it again at the end, but hopefully you can check out that website to tour the Donald P. Corbett Business Building and learn a little bit more about the business school. But the purpose of today's event is for you to get to ask any questions that you have, meet some of our faculty and our students. So I'm going to pass it off to the Dean of the Undergraduate School of Business, Faye Gilbert, to kick us off. Faye?
I'll just add, thank you very much, Nick, and I'll just add my welcome. I don't mean to be so excited that you're here and joining us for our first virtual Accepted Students Day, but I'm glad you're willing to connect and learn and get to know a little bit about us. So I'd like for our UMaine folks to introduce yourselves, because that's part of what this is about, so that they can hear what it's like being a student here, or the invitation from the faculty to join us. And I'll come back around in just a few minutes, but I'll turn it back over to you, Nick. And I would also echo his invitation. Please come join us this fall or begin classes online this summer. Whatever you can do, we're here to assist you with this journey. But Nick, if you may want to call people out one at a time to introduce themselves.
Yep, so let's start off with Nick Earhart.
Hi guys, my name is Nick Earhart. I'm the Associate Dean for Maine Business School, and I work a lot with students for good and bad reasons, mostly good. I deal with scholarships, study abroad, and just try to work with students to maximize your experience and education at Maine Business School. So great to meet you. Thanks you for dialing in.
Thanks. Jason?
Hi, I am Jason Harkins. I'm an associate professor in management. My areas of specialty include entrepreneurship and small business management. So I'm excited that you're here, and the University of Maine is a great place for you to be. And I hope just everybody is safe and healthy as we kind of deal with the crisis in front of us.
Yeah. Dimitri?
Hi, I am Dmitry Markovich. We're thrilled to have you here with us. I am Assistant Professor of Marketing at Maine Business School. I teach a range of courses in marketing. I teach marketing communications, advertising, and promotion. I teach marketing research. I teach a senior course in marketing strategy, and I also teach in the MBA program.
Great, thank you. Ivan?
Thank you, Nick. My name is Ivan Manev. I'm a professor of management at the Maine Business School. I teach organizational behavior, strategic management, and international business. And I've been with the Maine Business School for over 20 years. Welcome to this online meeting, online visit to the Maine Business School.
Thanks, Ivan. Amanda?
Hi, my name is Amanda Parody. I am the internship coordinator and academic advisor at the Maine Business School.
Great, thanks, Amanda. And we actually have 3 of our student ambassadors here. They're part of the MBS ambassadors. And if we had a regular accepted student day on campus, these would be some of the great students who would be giving you tours of the business school. But I'm going to let the 3 of them introduce themselves. So let's start with Bethany.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bethany, and I'm a senior accounting student at the University of Maine. And I hope everyone's staying safe during these crazy times. Over the past 4 years, the university has definitely become a second home to me. And, this entire crisis has really shown that the university, has really shown the community sense of the university, and just that the university does truly care about their students, their faculty, and everyone that's a part of the University of Maine. Nice to meet you all.
Gabby?
Hi, I'm Gabby Chardier. I'm a senior management and marketing at UMaine, and I'm from Dixfield, Maine. I'm involved in a few clubs like MBS Corps, and I'm an ambassador, which means I get to promote the business school in this way. I went abroad to Australia one of my semesters, and I'm excited to be talking with you guys today.
Awesome. And finally, CJ.
Hi, my name is CJ, and I'm a senior majoring in business management and marketing. I'm very excited to have our first Zoom accepted students day. I think we can definitely get some great things across during the meeting.
Awesome. Well, thank you, CJ. So I think since this is our first time, we just want to leave it open and see what works best. I think this is where we're going to open it up to questions. So I see that we have quite a few people who have joined us, which is fantastic. With this many people, I think it might be easiest, if you can, to just type your name in the chat window if you have a question. You don't have to type out your question, but just type your name, and I can call on you and you can ask your question. And it can be about anything from what it's like to attend school at the University of Maine and the Maine Business School. You can ask our student ambassadors about their involvement from student clubs and things like that, or just anything you want to know about majors or classes. So if you have a question, feel free to type that in, and we'll leave the floor open.
And I'd like for Jamie to introduce herself as well, and then Chris.
Oh.
I am Jamie Ballinger. I'm the director for the Graduate School of Business. So I help students as early as their freshman year if they think they might be planning to go on for their MBA or their master's degree, go for their CPA exam, things like that. So I really do work with students very closely. A lot of students don't know that you can actually start taking some graduate classes in your 4th year. And so I'm there to help students with that as well.
Our MBA was just ranked in the top 50 online MBA programs. The online portion of our MBA ranked in the top 50 in the country. So the quality of education that you receive at the University of Maine is on par with the best. And Chris, would you like to say hello? Glad to have you with us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me to our team in business. My name is Chris Richards. I'm the interim vice president of enrollment management here. So I oversee the admissions and financial aid operations. And just want to congratulate and thank all of our accepted students for participating in this, and thank the School of Business for hosting this. This is fantastic. This really is a testament to the community at large, but particularly in the School of Business. It's also nice to see a fellow friend from Dixfield, also one of our student ambassadors. We share our hometown. So I'll shoot a message to your father and let him know that you're doing good work. So thank you very much. And it's exciting to see this going on.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And we actually have our first question, which is awesome. So please keep sending those in. So Yerlani, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. But if you would like to go ahead and unmute and ask your question to the group, we can definitely answer that. Oh, I think you're here. We'll unmute you.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. You said it right. So my question was regarding the internships, and are they mandatory, and do they go towards your credits if they're not mandatory? Mm-hmm. And where have some students done internships at?
Great. So maybe Amanda, do you want to take the answer about credits, and then some of our ambassadors can talk about their internships?
I'm busy.
Absolutely. So we don't require students to do internships within their program. It's not a requirement, but it's an option for you. You can elect to earn credits for your internship. They would count as free elective credits, or you can do it for non-credit. Based on what your plan is for your academic path, you would work with your advisor and with me to see whether or not it would fit into your program. Some examples of where students have interned, and I'll let the student ambassadors talk about where they've interned as well, but just a few examples would be MMG Insurance. We've had Key Bank, TD Bank, a lot of the accounting firms that are in the greater Portland area, and so on. So there's a robust amount of programs and availability of internships that you can work towards and work with me to apply for.
Okay.
So I want to add to what Amanda had to say there. We also have this amazing program at the university called the Innovate for Maine Fellows. which is an internship option for students that places them at any one of a variety of kind of innovative companies, everything from WEX and IDEX, publicly traded large companies headquartered in South Portland and Portland, to I know a number of students have done internships with some of the startups that I work with, like CoreStorm, which is right in Orono, and other places. And those are fully paid internship opportunities that give students really incredible access to companies throughout the state that are doing innovative things.
Well, and to add to that, we have a group of students doing internships with the cheese farmers in Maine. So if your goal is to get more into the rural areas of Maine and to work to help the cheese farmers increase their business efficiencies, then there's a faculty member that is leading that drive, and it's an alternative capstone experience that I'd love to hear from our MBS ambassadors where you in.
Yeah, let's start with CJ, because I think all three of our ambassadors have had some pretty cool internships. So CJ, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a few internships, and I'm also in that capstone, that fellowship capstone she was just talking about as well. And that's definitely been a great opportunity. We're actually consulting with small business farms in Maine. So after learning throughout the past 4 years different things in classes, I'm actually able to use that in-class experience and actually work with small businesses in helping them start and grow their businesses. And that's been a great experience from the start. And over the past couple of years, I also interned at MEMIC, which is a workers' compensation insurance company in Portland. And I was in the HR department there. And then from there, last summer, I actually interned in Seattle, Washington with a national corporate health company. But we definitely have internships all across the country that you can work with in Maine, outside of Maine, really everywhere. And those have been great experiences. And I'm actually
The Washington person. I didn't know it was CJ. I knew the Washington story, but I didn't know it was you. I'm glad to put a face.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great experience. And I'm actually going to be working for them in a couple months once I graduate. The location's still up in the air, but it might actually be back in Seattle. So we'll see where this takes me.
Great. Gabby, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I started freshman year with an internship with Orono Police Department. It was kind of like the back work of what the admin assistant does. So I was helping filing and scanning things and pretty much any projects they needed done. And then last summer I interned with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. So it was that was in Brookline, basically in Boston, Mass. That was really cool. So I learned the ins and outs of the car rental and everything that goes along with it. And so because of my internship with Orono, I actually decided to stick with law enforcement. So this semester that actually just ended a bit early, I interned with Maine State Police. So I'm taking a bit of a different route than your normal business student, but my 3 internships have been great. And also I'm not sure if this was mentioned, but you can get credit for your internship, and I'm getting credit for the internship that I just did with Maine State Police. So.
Just to add to that, so yeah, we're working with 120 some companies in New England, but so the goal is to find internships for you locally, but also close back home, so you don't necessarily have to take an internship away, so you can stay at home, save a little bit of money in that sense. But we're also promoting or working with, as we have students study abroad, we work with the Office of International Programs to find internships internationally too. So that's something that you should look out for if you're interested in study abroad. So it's always a nice thing to add to your resume to be you can say that you've been working in a company in a different country. So keep that in mind.
Yep. And before Bethany goes, I just want to remind those of you who have joined us since we started that if you have any questions, feel free to just type your name in the chat function and we can call on you to ask your questions. So Bethany, why don't you tell us about your internships?
So great question. And I also would like to add that the Maine Business School does a great job at providing a lot of opportunities. For example, every fall we host events such as Careers in Accounting or Careers in Finance Night, where employers will actually come directly to campus, and you're able to network with all these different employers, bring your resume, and it's a great way to make connections. That's actually how I got my internship. Last summer, I interned at a public accounting firm called Barry Dunn, which is located in Portland and also in the Bangor area, which is a little closer to campus. And, you know, it was a great company, great organization. I loved it. And that actually, they gave me a full-time offer. So I will be working for them after I complete my master's. So yeah, so the University of Maine does a great job at, you know, helping you take that step to find opportunities and to find the right organization for you. Amanda, who spoke earlier, she does a great job. She's so helpful. So my advice to you would to be, you know, definitely use your resources, because the Maine Business School has so many different resources that will help you. And I would definitely recommend having an internship, even though it isn't required. I would definitely recommend it. And to go back to the credits thing, I got 6 credits for my summer internship, which was very nice. So do you have any other follow-up questions or anything?
Because I'm interested. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think I want to go into accounting. So I was just wondering, because I've never been to Maine. I'm from Philadelphia. So I think the campus is like kind of, for me, in the middle of nowhere, because I'm used to everything being so close. So as far as like employers and possible internships, is it easy for them to like find you when you talked about the fair and stuff? What question? Have any students ever interned at a Big Four? Do you know?
Yes, actually, one of my friends who graduated last year is currently working at EY.
Okay.
And he really enjoys it. So yes, definitely, you know, if that's what you're interested in, then there are definitely opportunities to go to EY. And there's numerous accounting faculty members, professors that have connections with the Big Four, that have, you know, reached out to me personally asking if I was interested in going Big Four. But for me, that's just, I kind of wanted to go for a smaller firm. So that's why I chose Very Dunn. But yes, the Big Four is definitely accessible from the University of Maine. And, you know, if you are interested in getting an internship, you know, in your hometown, around closer to home, then Amanda is very, very helpful in making that happen, just like how CJ is all the way and going to be working in Seattle.
Right.
So that's definitely possible as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Great questions.
Awesome. Well, that was a lot of information about internships. So thank you everybody for pitching in. I do want to point out that Bethany mentioned about the accounting night. And so our accounting firm night is an event that we've had for a long time. And last year, Amanda, was it 12 firms that we had? I think it was 12 firms. Yeah. So the accounting firm night, we invite public and private accounting firms, including the Maine state government, to come to campus and meet specifically with our accounting students. So last year we had 50 students who each got to meet one-on-one with every accounting firm that was there. So if accounting is your interest, there are going to be a lot of opportunities to connect directly with firms that are looking for interns and to hire full-time as well.
Can I add one thing to that?
Sure.
Basically all of my classmates, you know, sophomores and juniors who are accounting students, basically everyone that I know has had an internship that the University of Maine has helped them with. So especially if you're thinking accounting is a great way to go. And there are a lot of internship opportunities within that profession. So, and the University of Maine has great relationships with those firms too. So.
Are you able to take an internship during the school year or only in the summer?
So it kind of depends on the firm. A lot of my classmates, they took a tax internship this spring. And the University of Maine, Amanda was very helpful at accommodating that. You know, they would take a couple classes online with getting credits for their spring internship. I took mine over the summer. I did my internship over the summer. But with accounting, you can also do it during the spring if you want. A lot of firms do look for that. So you would just have to work with your advisor or Amanda just to make sure that that would work class-wise and credit-wise. But I do know a lot of people who do spring internships.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so Bethany touched on taking online classes, and that's one thing that I think is really exciting. So the Maine Business School and the University of Maine in general are moving more and more classes to be available online, because we do know a lot of students want to take internships and continue working while they take their classes. And the Maine Business School specifically has every class for our management degree is now online. So those of you that are interested in getting your Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Management, you can complete those classes 100% online. So that one is the only of our 4 that is fully online, but every year we're moving more and more classes for our other majors online. So
But
some of those.
the management degree is also face to face. It's not
Yes.
only online. It's just
Yeah.
you have that option of
Yes.
taking some classes online if that fits your schedule, or if that helps you make progress, or if you get a job and want to complete, or if you want to start early, to take a class this summer, you can get your feet wet, go ahead and sign up and come join us.
Thank you.
We're glad to hear that you're thinking of accounting as a major. Just to, it's a very competitive major. Fantastic. Our track records in terms of getting jobs are very high. Just to plug the caliber of our major, I think we are the highest in New England in terms of pass rates for CPA, sitting for the first time up in the 60%. Is that right, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
So it just speaks to the fact that we're accounting is and of course all our other majors are competitive as well. But accounting, since you mentioned it, I just wanted to make sure that you got that information.
Thank you.
Excellent question, Yorlani. Thank you. And for everybody else, Yorlani mentioned accounting. And so the Maine Business School, everybody who graduates from the Maine Business School earns a BS in Business Administration. And right now we offer majors in accounting, finance, management, marketing. And so if you know what you want to do, that's awesome. You can work with your advisor from day one to set that course. But a great aspect of the Maine Business School is that you don't have to pick a major until the end of your second year. So your first 2 years, you're going to get your feet wet and take classes in all areas: accounting, finance, management, marketing. Work with your advisor, see what you like, and then at the end of that sophomore year, you can pick a major or even double major. So, there's plenty of time to figure out what you like and think about what you want to do. Yeah. So do we have any other questions? Anybody else want to know about study abroad or specific classes? Anything from our faculty members who are here, Dimitri, Ivan, and Jason?
Let me see.
I have a question.
Yeah, Alexander.
I would be interested in hearing what you incorporate regarding entrepreneurship in your program, and also whether business analytics is part of the program or is something that one does as an elective.
Yeah,
I'd like to start with analytics. We're the only Certiport certification center in the state. So our students they'll have the opportunity to be certified in Excel to begin. And then analytics are infused within each major. So management and business information systems are emphasizing SAP. We have Tableau. There is R within marketing. Within accounting, they're using, I'm not going to be able to recall well, but in each major, finance, we have Bloomberg terminals. So we have 12 Bloomberg terminals, allowing students to become certified on the Bloomberg terminals, if I'm remembering that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we want them to have their hands on the analytical tools that they're going to need to be familiar with once they graduate. And entrepreneurship and innovative steps are really, it's part of a concentration within the Maine Business School, as well as part of most majors, but I'll let Jason pick that up.
Great. So entrepreneurship is a concentration. It's kind of both an offering for any student, regardless of their major, as well as the courses act as electives in management. We have in the entrepreneurship concentration a really keen focus on innovation and startups. So we have a course in small business management, which is very focused on the kind of traditional businesses that you'd look to grow. And then we have courses in new venture creation and innovation engineering, which are oriented very specifically at thinking about kind of next generation innovative businesses. And I and a few of our faculty are very plugged into the startup scene in the state. So not only are there the course offerings in entrepreneurship, but if you're interested in engaging in the world of entrepreneurship, there are a number of activities from meetup to networking events and accelerators and incubators in the state which are quite easy to plug into and access.
Great. And so Jason mentioned concentrations. So in addition to the 4 majors that students can pick at the Business School of Accounting, Finance, Management, Marketing, we offer 3 concentrations, which are similar to minors a little bit, but it's just a collection of a cluster of courses that can help you tailor your degree. So we have one of those in entrepreneurship. We have a concentration in international business, and we also have one in management or business information systems. So students can choose those and work with their academic advisor to fit those courses into their schedule, and those can fill up free elective space. So taking concentration doesn't add any extra time to your degree. So you can still finish it in your 120 credits, which is great. We do have another question here from Hannah. So Hannah Wood, if you'd like to go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. So I had a question. So what countries have you had like internships or for your study abroad programs? What type of what countries are offered?
Yeah, so Amanda might be able to speak a little bit more to the individual study abroad, because the study abroad is pretty much, from my understanding, open to wherever a student would like to go. So if there's a country you want to study in, that's something you can work with the Office of International Programs and your advisor. But maybe Jason can talk a little bit more. And I think Ivan has led international trips as well. So maybe the two of you could talk about some of our specific international business study trips.
Okay, so I'll just talk briefly. So I have, along with Susan Murden from the marketing department, led a trip to the UK where we go and we study the recreation, tourism, and leisure industry in the UK, and we do intensive kind of on-site 10-day thing over spring break. We were actually supposed to be there a couple of weeks ago, and obviously that didn't happen. And there are a number of offerings like that that tend to be kind of study abroad trips where we integrate academic content with a trip to another country. I know, as Nick mentioned earlier, there are semester-long study abroad trips to literally all over the globe, but we are increasingly offering undergraduate trips to a variety of destinations with plans to offer, I think, probably at least one undergraduate study abroad trip per year. And as demand proliferates, I guess we would probably offer more of those trips because they're such an incredibly impactful experience for the students.
So just to jump in there too, so we work with, I believe it's about 150 universities globally that we have direct exchange with. So it's very, very easy to study abroad if that's what you want. And as far as internships, just what comes to mind is Amazon, Microsoft, studying abroad in London. So there's track records there, but you don't have to go to universities that we have a direct exchange with, like Jason was saying. So if you want to go to a university that we don't, no problem. And we work really hard to make sure that you're not falling behind. So you graduate in time still. The plus side on the direct exchange, sometimes there is a belief that it's more expensive to study abroad, and many times it's not. Actually, sometimes it's less expensive. So it really is a wonderful opportunity that we're trying to encourage our students to consider. So.
Great, Ivan.
And if I could add a few more things, Jason mentioned the study trip to England that got canceled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have covered an enormous array of countries in prior study trips. We've been to Germany 4 times, Russia 4 times, China twice, Japan, Vietnam, South Africa, Argentina, Chile, Nicaragua, so you name it. We've probably been there, and a lot of these have been graduate study trips, but also a lot of them are undergraduate. As for internships, I supervised a student who had an international internship in Canada. I also supervised somebody who had an internship with the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. And she's been tremendously successful afterwards. She is now with the World Bank.
And
I had a student who was at the Nike company in the UK, and then another student who went back to Germany, and she was studying abroad there, and then went back the previous year, and she did an internship through at her school that she was in. So there are a lot of opportunities. You just have to explore, be proactive, learn about the opportunities early on.
And Billy, I see your question. We'll get right to it, but I did want to ask Gabby to talk a little bit about her experience studying abroad, because she was down in Australia and had a pretty great experience down there.
Yeah, so I didn't have an internship in Australia, but I did take 4 classes. 3 of them actually went towards my business degree, so it didn't set me back at all. And I was able to set them up Monday through Wednesday. So I was taking classes Monday through Wednesday in person, and pretty much deciding which beach I wanted to go to or where I wanted to travel to in Australia for every weekend, or every other weekend I would fly to a different part of Australia. It gave me the opportunity to go bungee jumping in New Zealand. I went diving in the Great Barrier Reef in Cairns in Australia. So I would definitely encourage you to look into study abroad as soon as you, maybe even when you come in as a freshman or the semester after that, after you get settled in. And I didn't go direct exchange just because I started looking a little bit too late, and everything filled up. So it was a bit more expensive, but it wasn't excessive, and it's definitely worth it for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby. Yeah, so Billy McCarthy asked if there's a recommended dorm for business students. So right now, we don't have any business-specific residence halls or living learning communities, but it's definitely something that's on our mind, and we're thinking about incorporating in the coming years. So that might be something, Billy, that we could get a cluster of business students. But outside of your residence hall, we do have a lot of events that are going to get you active and get you to meet people. One of those that we're really excited about is our upcoming Adventure Management 101. So every student that goes to Maine Business School is going to enroll in a class called Introduction to Business. It's Management 101. And that course, you're going to dive into an array of topics. But this year, for the first time, we're offering Adventure Management 101, which is a chance for 20 to 25 of our business students to come to campus a week early. You can bring all of your equipment and all of your move-in gear and drop that at campus. And then with the team at Maine Bound, which is our outdoor rec department at the University of Maine, with leaders from Maine Bound and the Cooperative Extension and one of our business faculty members, you're going to go hiking, camping, and canoeing for 4 days in Maine. You're going to be talking about the business of hiking, camping, canoeing, because outdoor rec is huge in the state of Maine. And then you're going to come back to campus in time for welcome weekend. You're going to move into your residence hall, come to experience business casually, and then finish the rest of your Introduction to Business classwork online. But the awesome part about this is you're going to come to campus on the first day with 20 friends that you met and spent 4 days hiking and camping and canoeing with. So, it might not be a specific residence hall or living learning community, but it's going to be a great cohort that you're going to be able to move throughout your 4 years with. So if that sounds like an awesome experience to any of you, you can go on the Accepted Student Portal, and there's a page all about that class. And all you have to do is sign up with Cindy D'Angelo, and her contact information is on that page. So read more about it, share the information with your parents and family members, and we hope that some of you will be joining us on that, because it's going to be a really cool first experience.
And if I could just add to that a little bit real quick. And also another great way to make friends in the business school is we have a lot of business clubs. The university as a whole has so many different clubs, but specifically the Maine Business School has a lot of clubs. I'm in the accounting club. There's a marketing club. There's a finance club, which is spiffy. And I'll let Nick kind of talk more about the clubs. But for me, my experience in the clubs have been amazing. I have some friends that I've made that will be lifelong friends. And, when I started moving up, even my sophomore year, I would look around in my classroom and I would know the majority of the students. All the professors get to know your names. It's definitely a community sense in the Maine Business School. If you're walking the halls and you walk past someone, everyone says hi to everyone. But I definitely do recommend, and I would encourage you guys to get involved and join a club. So it's a great way to make friends, and also great learning opportunities and networking opportunities. So I'll kind of let Nick talk more about the clubs, but.
Yeah, thank you, Bethany. Before we dive into the clubs, we did have another question from Yorlani, and I'm sorry that I missed that, Yorlani. She asked, what is the retention rate at the Maine Business School from freshman to sophomore year? So I see Dean Gilbert, the wheels turning as she's trying to pull up that number, but
Yes.
I'm sure she can provide some insight to that.
I could be wrong, but I believe it's somewhere between 72 and 75%. The university and the Maine Business School, we may be a little ahead of the university in our retention rate, but it's somewhere about 72 to 75%. But now I'll look it up after this phone call. I think that's Chris may know better than I do.
That is correct, Faye.
That's a very good answer, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Yorlani, for that question. Sorry, I missed that. So yeah, Bethany started talking a little bit about the student orgs at the Maine Business School. We have 6 of them. We have local chapters of the American Marketing Association and the Institute of Management Accountants. So those 2 organizations are primarily for those interested in marketing and accounting. The American Marketing Association, last year, they traveled to the national conference down in New Orleans, where they all got certified in digital marketing, and they actually won an award for collegiate chapter performance. So that was an awesome experience for them to get to go down and network with marketing professionals from all over the country. The Institute of Management Accountants, with which Bethany is in, that group has helped set up QuickBooks for an entrepreneurial venture of students from the Maine Business School and the College of Engineering. They're also participating this year in VITA, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. So they're helping people in the Orono community prepare their taxes, which is a really great program. But in addition to those 2 organizations, we have SPIFFy, which is a Student Portfolio Investment Fund. It's a student-managed fund of securities that is over $3 million. So students directly research, pitch, and ultimately decide to buy and sell securities and manage that fund actively. So it's a great way for students, whether you're a finance major or not, to learn about investing.
And it's in the top 3 of student investment funds in the nation.
Yeah. So in addition to those, we also have MBS Core, which is the philanthropic arm of the business school. And I'm going to let CJ talk a little bit about MBS Core, because I believe actually all 3 of our ambassadors with us today are in MBS Core, but CJ can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually how I became friends with Bethany and Gabby. So joining clubs are definitely a good way to make friends outside of the dorm. And then also going back to that question in the residence hall, even if you're not on a floor with someone with your major, you'll always find someone that's in your major, either in your building or around another freshman residence hall on campus. So I would not worry about that. But back to the club, I've been in MBS Core for the last 4 years. And I definitely, that's my favorite club by far on campus. We do a ton of different volunteering activities. We actually had an event called Pets for Vets, which is, we've been doing that the past few years, and we actually raise money for veterans with PTSD to get service animals. And we actually had that. It was supposed to be, I believe, this weekend, but we had to cancel that event due to all of this. But we still raised a good amount of money. Last year when we did it, correct me if I'm wrong, Gabby, you might know the number, but I believe we raised about $3,000 last year. Was that right? Something like that?
I think so, but I was abroad.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I believe it was that number. And that was really good. But we also do different activities such as like an adopt a family program around the holidays, around Christmas time, where we actually do a toy drive, and then we raise money to buy gifts for families and for children that are those less fortunate. We do a ton of different events like that. We also go to the Ronald McDonald House in Bangor, and that's where we actually cook meals for families staying there that have children in the hospital. So we do a ton of different events like that, and it's definitely something that I'll always remember, and definitely a great thing to do if you're involved in the business school.
Yeah, thanks, CJ. And then, excellent question. I see that popped up. We'll get to that. We have 2 more student organizations to talk about. We have the MBS Ambassadors, which are 3 of our 13 members are here with us today. And these are the people that give tours and talk about the business school to our external partners, which is always fantastic. And then our newest student organization, the Women of the Maine Business School, is an organization specifically focused on issues and topics relating to women in the world of business. And Gabby, could you talk a little bit about that group?
I think it's Bethany that's involved with that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of guest speakers come in. You know, women who are CEOs and who have entrepreneurs, have made their own business, and just kind of, inspiring us as women in the business world, to create our own paths. And but yeah, it's definitely a great organization. It's a new organization, so we're still working to get it up and running. But so yeah.
Great.
Well, another one that's not an official organization, but that our accrediting agency, we're accredited by AACSB. It is the gold standard of accreditation to assure that you have the same quality of your business education here that you would get at any other AACSB accredited program. They mentioned our group called Undiscovered Maine. Undiscovered Maine was started by a student, as I understand it, 4 years ago, that now is a group, and they have an internship quality to what they do, but they travel on the weekends around Maine to state parks and to undiscovered locations, and then help small businesses in particular enhance their social media presence or sell internationally when they've not done that before. So it's a student-led, faculty, Nori Jones goes with them, but it's a wonderful organization. And then the question of what is the diversity like at UMaine? I'd love for one of y'all to address this as well. Our faculty come from 6 different continents. Maine is not a very diverse state when you compare it to other states, but the University of Maine has international students, those from I don't know how many different states within the United States, but quite a few, not just New England. We're pulling from a little further. Chris, do you have a better feel for answering that question?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe the current student body represents 47 states and right around 70 countries. And one thing when we get this question from a statistical standpoint, if someone looks at like degree seeking students, we're anywhere from 12 to 14% students who identify as not white. And that may seem low to some people, depending on where you're from. But when you consider the state of Maine by comparison, we're 3-4 times more diverse than the state we exist in as a percentage of our population. So we're quite proud of that because it's a culture of inclusion that really does welcome people from away, which is why we are able to kind of be as diverse as we are given our location.
Thank you. I see a question here from Emily. Emily says, I really don't like math, but really want to be a business owner. Will I have a hard time staying interested in business and completing my work? So Jason is, our entrepreneurship expert. Maybe that's something you could talk about, Jason?
Sure. So the actual technical math in a class like entrepreneurship or small business management is really, it's the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Accounting math is not technically complicated math. It is really understanding the systems by which you put the numbers together, much more so than it is the math. We do have math requirements. You are required to take a class in statistics and a non-statistics class in math to get the degree at the University of Maine, and that's true of all students, regardless of what you major in. But it's not the technical elements of math. As long as you don't get scared off by looking at the numbers and trying to understand what's behind them, the math itself won't be a barrier to you. Some of the best business owners I know and work with on a regular basis come from backgrounds that are very kind of math averse, but they have found a way to equate what it is that they're doing in their businesses or what their plans are with putting some numbers around it. But so I guess that's probably the best answer I could.
I have loved it. I selected marketing as a student, and it's been a wonderful career. There is some math to it, but by the time you get to the classes that are expecting math, you've done the homework enough to have the discipline to learn it, and then to use it. And you've got people around you that help you understand the parts that may be difficult for you. But it just has led to an awful lot of wonderful experiences for me my whole career of learning what different people are doing and being able to help brothers and sisters mainly. They like free help in business. So the counseling just started with small mom and pop businesses and answering questions and keeping them solvent as they went forward. But it just includes a way of looking at the world that's compassionate and that's also filled with the knowledge of how to do it well. That probably didn't make sense, but it meant a lot to me to say it. So thank you for letting me.
Thank you, Dean Gilbert. We have a question here that says, how easy is it to change your major? And also, does UMaine accept AP credit? So maybe Amanda, you could take that one.
Yeah, so changing your major within the business school is very simple. All it is a form that you would complete saying, you know, if you start in maybe finance and you are thinking, oh, this isn't the right path, and you change to management. It's very simple. And then accepting AP credits, we do accept them. What you need to do is once you receive your AP scores, you want to report them to College Board and select the University of Maine to report them to, and then we'll get that information and we'll update that on your requirement sheet that you'll get when you sign up for classes. So we'll have that information, and then so you won't have to take those classes again. You already have the credit for them.
And if you're deep into marketing, let's say, and decide to switch over to management, quite often we can use marketing classes as elective in management. We're being more and more flexible in that sense. So it doesn't have to set you back very much if you're very deep into it. But like Amanda said, it's easy. So good question.
Thank you. We have a question that came in from Andrew. He says, I know UMaine does in-state tuition. I live in Boston. Does anybody know if this still applies if I have an under 3.0 high school GPA? So I think you're talking about the flagship match program as a Massachusetts student. I'm not sure about the number for GPA. Does anybody, Faye or Chris, know that threshold?
Yeah, so the flagship match program, we do require a 3.0 for that program, but I would encourage if there's any students who do have questions about your specific merit scholarship status or even financial aid package, in enrollment management, we really look to work one-on-one with you specifically because usually these questions are very individual. So I would encourage you, if you want to reach out to myself or our Office of Admission, we'll absolutely handle these today and engage with you on those topics once we get through the session.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. We want you to be biased toward our business students, Chris. We want you to make sure that they get.
Right. Well, as a proud alum of the graduate program, the MBA program, it is kind of cool to be here because I did have, Nick Earhart, I had Mr. Harkins we had residency week. I had a lot of awesome experiences with faculty who are here. So this is a special group for me. I think we can do something.
Thank you. So we have a question that's more about in general with financial aid. Are there payment plans, and do we have to have a down payment or a deposit payment every semester? So I know that the university does offer payment plans for paying your tuition and fees. And the down payment, I believe that would just be your first payment of your payment plan. Is that correct?
I'll jump in on that too. If you're a new student looking to enroll, our enrollment deposit is $50. You can submit that with the admissions office. So if that's what you're talking about, that again would be handled by us in enrollment management. But if you are looking for a payment plan, those are actually processed and approved through the bursar's office. And they do have flexibility if they're over 10 months, 12 months, whatever. And it is a great option for a lot of students and families in paying their bill. And so we can assist in setting that up.
Thank you, Chris. So I see somebody asked about a specific course taken at a specific community college for transfer credit. an AP credit. Amanda, where would be the best place to direct that question specifically for the student?
So what I can do is I can actually look it up to see if we have accepted that specific course in the past, and then I can let you know what it would count as. So I have the information. I mean, I can email that student or whatnot.
Yeah, Archer Judd. I'm not sure which is your first name. If you could just type in, if you're comfortable direct messaging Amanda within the chat function, your email address, I'm sure she can send you that information quickly.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Emily had a question that says, is it manageable to have more than one minor in addition to my business major? So,
Yes.
sorry, yes, it is, as Dean Gilbert said.
We have a lot of accounting and finance double majors. We have double majors that do marketing and communication journalism within a separate college of liberal arts and sciences. And faculty, Ivan, Dimitri, do you know of other double majors? Or we seem to encourage it, but you don't have to have a double major to do well. But
yeah, there are a number of students who do double and even triple plans. Having a double major plus a minor, having a double major and an honors program. And Dean Gilbert did mention the ones that are most common, most frequent. I looked it up, it was a couple of years ago. I think between 10 and 12% of our students were having a second plan. And the plan can also be a concentration, which is not required. But we're specializing in more than one area, and typically these are the stronger students academically, and it makes sense because it's another line on your resume afterwards and something that's going to distinguish you from the crowd when you're looking up for jobs.
So just to add to that, so you can be a double major within the business with a concentration, but you can't do a minor as a business student within the business school. So if you want to do a major in the business school, your minor has to be outside. Sometimes we have engineer students who decide to do a minor in business who comes our way. So that works well too. So.
Yeah. In marketing, I know what is popular is to do marketing and new media. So we have people who major in marketing and either double major with new media where they do graphic design or something related to that, or a minor.
So I know we have a faculty meeting in a few minutes, so.
Yeah, so.
Sorry to interrupt, I have a question that's sort of a faculty related, but then I also want a current student answer, but answer this question first.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, CJ and I are both management and marketing double majors, and we're still gonna graduate well on time. So, I think the way it works is that some of our second major classes covered our free elective credits, so it's definitely manageable to double major if you want to.
And I know Jamie, she's probably going to jump on this too, but just to keep in mind, it's very doable to do a 4+1 MBA, undergraduate MBA as well. So our online program is MBA programs fully online as well. So it's a really nice track. So you can get out of here in 5 years with a dual degree, undergraduate and an MBA. So sorry, Jamie. I know we're short on time.
I'll try and ask my question quickly. From the faculty perspective, what supports are in place for the undergraduate students beyond the classroom? How often do faculty advisors meet with students? Are there opportunities for peer tutoring if somebody's struggling in a class? And also are there opportunities for mentoring with, say, an alumni practitioner?
We have professional advising. Faculty jump in, but we have professional advising. So the faculty are advising more on career options, connecting students with mentors when that is the right thing to do, when that meets the student. I find this faculty, I've been in a lot of different places, I find this faculty at the University of Maine to be gifted at meeting students where they are and taking them where they want to go. You know, so it's an assistance process of them helping them look at options, learn about them, and go there. So I don't think I answered that whole question. I'll turn to you all, Jason, Dimitri, Ivan.
So I would say that the degree completion advising happens every semester with the professional advisors, as Dean Gilbert identified. The faculty are in regular contact with students. We all have lists of people that are our advisees. Students can, at their option, switch advisors to a faculty member that they feel they connect with, but I have students every semester that I am talking to and learning about their career aspirations and then making connections into industry, which is happening both at kind of idiosyncratically with me, but then also there's a Black Bear, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a Black Bear mentorship program more broadly that connects students with mentors on a kind of solicitation basis, I guess, for lack of a better word. And in terms of peer tutoring and accessibility, our faculty are incredibly accessible. Most of our classes take place in the same building where faculty offices are. Faculty are regularly on campus and available for meetings, and are actively looking out for the success of the students in the class. Even to the degree that if students seem to be struggling, faculty are asked to connect with the professional advisors to make sure that students don't get left behind.
And just to add to that, so I know this is a virtual meeting, but our school, most, if not all our classes are taught in the same building, and all our faculty are sitting on the third floor, so everything is very reachable, accessible, and that's pretty unique. So I advise you to follow up with Nick's virtual tour after this, so to get a better feel for that.
And I won't be able to be late for my own meeting with the faculty, though you may want to carry this on a few more minutes. I just want to welcome you to the University of Maine. I'd like to congratulate you for being accepted into the University of Maine. You're at a point in time in your lives where you're looking at options, and that is wonderful. I'm glad that University of Maine is one of those options on your list, and I hope you will engage us in conversation, get to know us a little better, and if this is the right fit for you, I really look forward to meeting you in person this fall when things have settled down and life has returned to a bit of normalcy would be my hope. But thank you, Nick, for putting this together and inviting these, and thank you faculty and thank you students for being a part. And y'all keep going. I'm going to go greet the rest of the faculty and I'll tell them while y'all are going to be a little late. And thank you, Chris Richards, for joining us.
Thanks, Dean Gilbert. Yeah, so I think we have a few more points to touch on with this last question and we'll wrap things up. So you asked also about alumni and mentoring and things like that. So in addition to the faculty mentoring and professional academic advising, we also have a host of events every year that connect students with our alumni and local business leaders. So we've already mentioned accounting firm night, and typically a lot of our alumni who work for those accounting firms and finance firms are the ones who come back to campus to meet with our students. We also have an event called Experience Business Casually, which happens the first week of every fall semester, and that is where we bring as many as 15 to 20 local business leaders and alumni back to campus to interact with students on their first week. So it's a great way to shake off the summer and discuss topics on things like professional attire, polishing a resume or an elevator pitch, and just getting to network with those individuals regularly. So we also have an advisory board, which we met with just this morning. Typically, our advisory board would come to campus to meet, but those are business professionals and alumni who work for industries all over the country. We have those in Southern California, Texas, Massachusetts, as well as Maine, working for companies like Grand Rounds, Bangor Savings Bank, and LinkedIn that are all in LL Bean, just to name a few. So those people come to campus and will interact with students. So once things get back to more normal, as Dean Gilbert mentioned, our students will be able to interact with them face to face, which is great. Awesome. Well, I hope that answered your question, Alexander. Nick, did you have anything to add before we?
No, I think the final question here: why Maine? Why Maine Business School? We have pretty much everything what the top Ivy League school has. What I think really separates us is our location, but also our faculty. They love what they do, and because what they love what they do, they're good at it. And it's a little slower pace. It's a more of a family feel. It's hard to get the feel through a virtual meeting, but if you have a chance to come to campus and just interact with our faculty, they care. They really do. They pride themselves of supporting you and getting this education and graduating on time in 4 years. And so I would kick it back to our students here, just to ask them why they picked UMaine. Because I mean, I'm obviously biased, but what are you guys? Why UMaine?
I would definitely have to say the people. Like you said, you know, we have that family sense, especially within the Maine Business School. And kind of to go back to Alexander's question a little bit, all the professors have office hours, and most of them always have their open door policy. So they're extremely accessible, and the faculty, they really do care. They truly want to help you. You know, I feel comfortable going up to basically any professor and just sitting down and talking with them about my future, my career path. You know, they really do care, and they really do want to help. We have an amazing faculty and people at the university. So I would say the people for sure.
Yeah, going off what Bethany said, I totally agree with all of those things. They're not just there to help you in the classroom, they're also there to help you after. Like, I don't think I would have gotten the different opportunities at the Maine Business School, like all the different jobs and internships and different experiences within clubs and things like that, if it wasn't for the professors and all the time and commitment they put into both in the classroom and outside the classroom.
Yeah, I would agree that I definitely chose Maine because of the people as well. My brother he came here 4 years before. He was a senior when I was a freshman. So I had seen UMaine quite a bit more than the rest of the schools, and I am from Maine. But even those people that aren't from Maine, Maine is a great state for hiking. It's a great state for skiing. So that may get you into a whole new lifestyle coming from somewhere that may be a busy city. Some people find out that they love Maine by choosing UMaine. So.
And also, like Dean Gilbert had mentioned earlier, the University of Maine Business School is also ranked top 5% in the country. So, you know, it definitely does compete with Ivy Leagues and everything like that. So it's definitely a great program, and I'm very thankful to be a part of it.
Thank you all. So this last question here from Yurlani, and I think it's a very pertinent question, is, are we still expected to make our decision by May 1st with the current state of the country? I personally don't know how that's being handled by the University of Maine admissions office. So I'm going to put their email address and phone number right here in the chat, and feel free to reach out directly to them. I imagine that they might be lessening up on those restrictions just because it's such a hectic time here. So please reach out to them directly with any of those questions. But I do want to say, while we wrap up here, thank you all so much for joining us. We were a little unsure about how this was going to go, being our first time, but I think it went pretty well. I thank you all for taking the time to sit down with us and tune in to ask your questions. And, you know, picking a college is a big choice, and it's a big decision. So like Dean Gilbert mentioned, we're really glad that UMaine is one of those choices. We hope that events like this help you make a decision. We hope you'll visit our accepted student portal, learn more about the Donald P. Corbett Business Building, and learn more about the programs we offer. And I encourage you to reach out to us directly if you have any other questions. You can email mbs@maine.edu with any questions, and you can also call us. And I'm going to put our contact information right here in the chat. So call, email, you know, visit us on Instagram, send us a direct message. So we want you to become business black bears, and we hope you'll make the decision to join us next fall. So thank you all so much. And go big, go blue, go business. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And congratulations to the new students.